Well, youth activists and journalists have been protesting in Yangon, demanding the release of two Reuters journalists. Walon and Kyoso Wu were sentenced to 7 years in prison earlier this month. They were arrested last year while reporting on the story about a murder of Rohingya Muslims in Rakhine State. Myanmar's leader Aung San Suu Kyi said that they were not detained because they're journalists, but because they were handling official secrets. Suu Kyi said they can appeal against their 7-year sentences. And here's what one journalist who attended the protest had to say.
This is Cape Diamond speaking from Yangon, Burma. So in Burma, journalists and the activists are in jail, and they are charged for many different laws for their speaking out about criticism toward the government and the military. The political development of the country is not really good, and it is going backward. This is what everyone feels. This is what people are saying, and especially when we are talking about the press freedom and freedom of expression, this is totally getting down, and we haven't seen any changes since the government came in power.
Well, journalists around the world are sharing pictures of themselves, demanding the release of the two reporters, also using the hashtag "Journalism is not a crime." From journalism students at Columbia University in New York to the ones here at the New Yorker as well, and also Reuters journalists around the world too. This one is from a team based in Venezuela. And in its own stand against the arrests, Reuters continues to share the story that led to the imprisonment of Walon and Kyoso Wu. It's a shocking story, really, introducing you to the 10 Rohingya men and boys who were murdered. And human rights groups like Amnesty International have condemned the arrest of the journalists who wrote the piece.
What we're seeing in Myanmar is an appalling assault on freedom of expression, and in particular freedom of the press. Walon and Kyoso Wu were in prison for doing nothing but their jobs as journalists. They reported the facts about a Myanmar military massacre of Rohingya men and boys in northern Rakhine State, something that was clearly in the public interest, and yet today they're the ones that sit behind bars. Today in Yangon, activists are protesting for their release, and Amnesty International joins those calls. We urge Aung San Suu Kyi and her government to release these two journalists, to repeal the laws that have actually allowed activists and journalists to continue to be arrested and imprisoned. And we're calling on the international community to take action to make sure that those responsible for crimes against humanity, war crimes, and possible genocide in Myanmar are held to account.
We also want to hear from you. If journalism is under threat in your country, what do you think needs to be done to stop it? Use the hashtag AJNewsGrid.